Alright. It's that time again. Yeah. People were asking for me in YouTube. I'm not gonna quit streaming or making videos, but as you well know, Christmas is coming. So I've been working a lot. I've been sick and I've been trying to perform a Christmas cleanup at our home, which is a total mess, but I try. So, and also I've been avoiding this project because, to be honest, I'm kind of full of it. I don't have much left. As you can see, the Fleetwood is already done, and I only have the top part with the flowers, which I have started already, but it's a huge project, and to be honest, it's an easy one. The only thing it needs is time, and I have even time, but I've been making some other projects in between because this is only single crochet, row after row after row after row, so it's not really the kind of project that gives me a mental boost to do it. So it's like I have to force myself to do it a little bit, so it's not been that easy to do. And I've been doing a row here and there, more or less, not every day, but every other day, many times a week. So last time I was live, I think we were doing the Mac part, which is down here, so I've been progressing this much since the last live. And yeah, it's a nice one. I truly like it. It's gonna be a great gift, but as we all know, Christmas is getting closer as well, which means that I do have to finish it, and deadlines are great for my ADHD brain, so I've been doing more lately because of course I don't want to fail people. So the teeny tiny people pleaser in me will make sure that even if I have to do it, pull an all-nighter or anything like that, I will do it. Makes no sense, but I will do it. So I need white. Let's take that one. The yarn usage for the project has been moderate, so not too much, I would say. It's not an expensive project to do. The only thing it takes is time. So Tapestry crochet is still my favorite, but I started another project that is way smaller, just to keep the interest up a little bit. And I also did a cardigan for my older daughter, which has been praised all over. It's an oversized cardigan with drop shoulders. That's a nice one. I think I'm gonna make another one. I already bought some wool for it. It's here. This color. She chose it, so I'm gonna make another one with pictures and videos, so you can make one as well. It only took me like 5 days part-time to do it, so it's not that bad. It's very easy to do. It's made with half double crochets actually, with just panels that are sewn together. So it's a very simple one, but pretty and very fashionable at the moment, as everything is oversized at the moment. So it's been the fan favorite so far. And I'm also making a smaller one for the in kids size for the smaller princess, which is not tested yet properly, but will be, and I will see the sizing with that one, so we can have instructions for it as well. But I also did a pair of socks for my ex-coworker for Christmas, and smaller projects like that, so they have been keeping me busy for a couple of weeks. But now it is Sunday. It's still sunny, even though it's gonna start raining shortly. I assume it looks like that. And I did the Christmas cleaning yesterday, so I don't have motivation to clean today. So this is what we're doing to avoid cleaning. So There's only 1 week left before Christmas. Like actual Christmas starts. Which is gonna be great. I love Christmas. Our Christmas is very peaceful. We spend it within our own family, at home. We do a lot of food, like everyone's favorite food on top of the traditional ones. So we're not just a Christmas food people, we eat whatever we want. I'm gonna have a lot of cheese and crackers. Those are for me. Some wine. We're doing the cooking together. We're doing the decorations together. We also have a tradition of playing board games. We're buying a new one every year to play. Don't know yet which one it's gonna be this year, but if you have any recommendations, we're ready to listen. So if you have a board game in mind that we could use, just let me know. We have an 8-year-old, a 14-year-old, and us, so it needs to be suitable for everyone, but not too easy. Like, we bought I think it was an Animal Crossing Monopoly last year, and it was stupid, to be honest. It was way too easy for any one of us. I'm running out of black, so I need a new black one. And that's how we learned last year that buying games meant for kids is not the thing to do. I could say that we have been playing so much games that she could be fine with any game that is suitable for over 12-year-olds. That's what I would say. That's what I would go with this year. I haven't checked any reviews of the new games, but we also play classics, so it doesn't have to be a new one. I already once said I don't need a light this time because it's so light outside, but now it's getting dark already. So at the moment we have a lot of leaves going around. So we have the brown one, and then we have a flower, and then we have the pink flower here coming together as well, and then we have leaves along the way. I need a brown one for the flower. This is always a bit of a struggle with the first round because I've been doing other projects which have been different techniques. So the muscle memory is trying to go full stitch, even though this is a back loop only. And also yarn under rather than over, which is giving me a pause at the moment, so I really have to think what I'm doing, since I did a different type of project last time. I also did a double-sided, like intarsia crochet project, because I kind of wanted to test it out if I could have made this more beautiful on the other side, which really doesn't matter, but that's just me thinking about it, and I instantly decided that that would not have been worth it at all. 4 black ones. So the Christmas cleaning has been going well as well. The only thing that hasn't been started is the kids' room upstairs. And they have the attic to themselves, the whole thingy. And it's like a dump most of the time. I'm not blessed with the most clean kids. Must be because I'm not that clean and tidy myself when it comes to home. I don't mind a little mess or a lot of it either. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I can also admit that I haven't done my Christmas shopping yet. I have reserved a food delivery time, so our food will be delivered 23rd. So, but I even haven't, you know, completed that list. It's just reserved time slot, so that's all. Bit lazy of me, but I do it every year. It's not a... I know what I need to buy. I just haven't done it yet. Yeah, but so based on the previous project I did, I will still be floating my yarns, and I don't try to have this double-sided because it would be so much more work, and I'm not willing to do that. Oh, it was only 2. Let's take that back. And I will not be floating the brown one back to the beginning because it's too long way, so it will bunch up the work, so I will just cut it once I finish the round. So I will always first finish, and then I will do all the cleanup for the round. I will usually use the same black all the way through the work, so I just keep moving it. So the system is that I have the yarn in order from right to left because that's where I am crocheting all the time. So they won't get mixed up, and the black one will just go through the whole thing because there's black everywhere. And I've said it many times, I should have chosen, but black is the basic color, but it's very hard to see the stitches. That's probably a me problem, but it needs a lot of light to see them properly. One more. And I'm not really a fan of that, to be honest. I don't have proper bobbins, so I just use a piece of cardboard usually with everything, so I don't have to store them. Because I have a lot of yarn going on, I have the yarn wraps as bobbins at the moment. Makes it easier to manage and less plastic pollution. I think they would be better ones if I ordered the actual yarn bobbins, but I don't want to. So now we're just chilling for a couple of hours with this work, with some music, and then we will get back to Christmas cleaning. I highly wish I was one of those persons who would enjoy cleaning. That would be so nice. But that gift was given to my mom and I got none of it, so it's a struggle. I try to keep the stuff we have to a minimum, even though my husband likes to tell me that I'm a hoarder. I'm not. Just to let you know. A lot of people have way more stuff than we have. We are doing... Oh, there's actually a mistake in my chart. And I have to fix it, because otherwise I will never find it. I had two different blues originally, like two shades of blue, and it wasn't looking good, so I deleted the other one to have more uniform color scheme with this one, because it was getting too much, and you could tell the difference between the blue ones, but not that well that it would make any sense. I need 4 more. This will be the last blue stitch for this sleeve. So we can cut that blue out as well when we're finishing this row. I don't need a huge amount of yarn per section, so that's why I can use the small ones. And this is even good enough amount for at least 4 to 5 sections of leaves, so it's fine. Helps me to keep everything clean and tight. I would like to have everything in the big skeins and do the center pull, because they stay in place nicely and I don't have to, you know, release any yarn or anything. They just give me the right amount. But because I don't need that much yarn, I would have a lot of extra yardage if I did that. So I'm just to doing the small ones, even though I don't like it. It would be nicer to have the big ones, you know, side by side, but sometimes you need to make rational decisions. And now we're doing the pink flower. Let's move a little bit. I know you don't see much because my fingers are on the way, but just let me know if you want to see some details more closely. I'm happy to show. This looks very good. Thank you, Jen. But the secret is that this is only single crochet, so this is super easy. So I think that crocheting a teddy is actually harder than this. This just takes a lot of time. A lot of it. Like more than I care to keep one project, but it's not hard. The only hard thing is to motivate yourself to do it. It's been very hard. And thank you for the follow. I've been fighting myself with this project because it takes so many hours to finish it. We are actually in row 190 and yeah, I still have 100 to go. So there's still some things to do. I'm trying to finish it before Christmas. Don't know if I can do it, but my brain works well with deadlines, so probably it will give me a boost to finish it. But I've been taking breaks with this one. 4 and 5, because if I don't know, I would just get tired of it and never finish it. Like never ever finish it. That wasn't right at all. Also, don't like to give myself too much stress. This is a hobby, and you know, if it takes longer, it takes longer. And it's not like this is a type of project that someone would pay me money for. No, this is for my daughter. A family project. So she will forgive me if I'm late. If you can be late, if you don't have a timetable, but oh, I had coffee. It will be cold shortly. White. Sometimes when I take a break, I actually have to think about how was I planning to do the section, you know? because sometimes I carry the yarn with me and sometimes I don't, and usually it makes sense, but I might have forgotten the sense for the rest of the row. Today's Moomin mug. We have like 10 of these. All different. Then I of course have an energy drink, and I have a 7-Up, and I also have a great service if needed. So I will call for more coffee and stuff. So I think I need to just carry the white yarn with me. Oh, that's what I plan to do. I'm always attaching the yarn, just no knots, nothing. I just take a new yarn with me because this is quite tight. I'm using a very small hook just to keep it organized and stuff, and therefore it won't unravel. I may be sewing a backing to this one when it's actually done, just to secure the ends. I don't know where they would go. This is a wall hanging decoration, so it's not like it's gonna be washed or, you know, used. It's just gonna hang there, so there's no much risk of unraveling. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I've also trying to find a stick I could hang this with. I found one already, but it was too short. This is quite large. So I would like to have a natural stick where I can hang this from. I think it would complete the look to have something like that. We had a couple of storms and there were a lot of stuff on the roads, but I couldn't find anything like that. At least not yet. Do I have any white snow? Thank you. I told I have a good service. Now I have a thermos mug of coffee, so it won't go cold.
You were talking about the coffee going cold.
It is cold. And it's also because it's a bit cold here, so it goes cold very fast. But this will stay warm. Now I need to move the chart again to reach the end of it. And let's see what I have. This is a bit... I'm sorry for the confusions, but I haven't done this in a week or so. So I'm a bit lost what I have been planning myself with this. So it's a bit of a mess, but let's just deal with it. So I have to just pause and see what I have been thinking with it. And the green one is also done. So no more green at this point. 1 and 2 blue ones. I have a different black yarn than the rest of it, and that's because I wanted to have a bit of like 3D effect. So I have a thinner black yarn than the rest of the yarns, and it is working not as much as I would like it to. Like I would maybe choose even thinner yarn right now if I was to redo it, because I wanted to see if it works. I've never done anything like it, you know, mix two different yarns in one project that is flat. But for example here, I don't know if you can see it, but at least live when you see this you can see that the orange is much more bulky than the black one, so it pops out a little bit. So it is working, but it should be working more, so which means that I should have chosen even thinner black yarn, which is bad because even this black yarn is very annoying to work with. The hook is a little bit too big for it. That was 3. And the green one. Every time I float, I have to be sure that I don't do it too tightly, otherwise it will not look good. And I don't crochet over the end of the yarns, I just leave them to float on the back of the work, because I don't want the difference in thickness if you carry them with you and crochet over them, so I don't. I want it to be very, very, very precise and uniform on the front side, and decided not to care about the back side at all. So it is a mess on this side. There's a lot of yarn going. It's not double-sided work, so, but it's also not a blanket or anything like that, so it really doesn't matter. I don't have many Christmas present projects. This is actually the only one. I will do one amigurumi project, but that will be a Christmas present from my younger child to my older one. I just have to do it because she cannot, so, but she has designed it. So she will be my customer, but that's a one afternoon job, so it's very easy one, so I don't have to worry about it more than that. Surprisingly easy. She usually has requests that are more complicated than that. This one. And the last white part at the end of the work, and then we can clean up the row and move on to the next one. So the system is that I only work right side up, so I don't work the back side at all, which makes it easier to keep track where you're going and how it is looking. This is going to be a wall hanging decoration. It's a band logo for Fleetwood Mac. We've done quite a lot of it already. So we are way over halfway through. We are in the last third of the project, and then it will be done, hopefully. I'm actually honestly sick and tired of this project, but it's looking brilliant. So even though I say it myself, it's looking very good, and it is very beautiful, and she's gonna love it. And it has a place in a room already with all the other Fleetwood Mac items, records, pictures. There's CDs and LPs and everything. And this takes around 80 hours, and I would actually argue it will be closer to 90 because I haven't been too fast with it. It's gonna be a very, very, very labor intensive, and I'm gonna remind her of that every time she's not behaving. And I also have a smaller one that I'm doing at the moment. It's like my relief project, a smaller tapestry project going on, which I will be doing during the odd 15-20 minute breaks I have in the day. This takes a lot of time, so I don't usually start this project if I don't have at least a couple of hours to spare. On the wrong side, I just tighten up the ends and I leave the yarn that is continuing its existence in the work in the same place, and then I got the yarn that will be reattached at the start of the project, which will be black and white mostly. And I also check if there's changes in colors, if I need new colors for the next round, so when the round starts I can only focus on the crocheting rather than checking if I have enough. This blue one is gonna be detached because the blue is over from this part, so there will be other needs for it later. But I don't do any knots, I don't do any weaving in with this one. Oh, this is not from a pattern. It's designed by me. It's based on the logo they have in one of their albums. So I had to make, I have a file in front of me. I made a pixel design of it, and then I went shopping for yarn. I bought like 70 skeins of cotton yarn just to have the right colors, and after that it's just single crochet from start to finish. So it gets a bit boring at times, but I like it. I like it. It's gonna look very good. But there is no price in this world that I would do this for money, because it is just so much work. There's another blue one we're detaching as well. And the yarn that is not currently in use will go to the left side of my table, and the ones that will be used next round definitely will be on the right side, so I can just easily attach it. And the brown one will also be cut because I will reattach it at the other end of the brown flower, but it will stay there. So yeah, making the pixel art pattern is not that hard. You just the harder part is to actually like find the right colors, and I feel like sometimes the pictures of it, I wanted to have violet yarn and I had blue. The picture of this one was actually absolutely the one I wanted, and when I got it, this is not what I wanted. So I will have to figure out another project for this yarn, but it was completely wrong, so I went with actual blue. There is a difference. I think it is violet purple or something like that, but it's not the color I wanted, and it's not a color I like. So that's the harder part, for me at least. I'm not very good with colors, so I do have to actually see them and, you know, fit them in the work. And now we're going to the row 191. And because we are only working from right to left, we have to attach yarn on the beginning of the work every round. And at the beginning we have, I call this an attachment loop. So I always make a knot, slip knot to be more precise. And I always add a new slip knot to the old one. And because we are only working from right to left, we are losing one stitch every round at the end of this. So we will add one at the beginning of every round by one. And then we just keep going. I am doing back loop only and yarn under because I want this to be very tight. So we're doing it with very tight tension as well, and that's pretty normal for tapestry crochet. So I'm using a smaller hook, and because there's no need to be any stretch for this one, so we're actually avoiding the stretchiness by using cotton, which is not stretchy, and using stitches that do not provide stretch at all. I highly recommend cotton for any one of these tapestry projects you might do, because I think it's the best yarn based on the lack of stretchiness. Your work will keep its shape along the way. Now that we have crossed the halfway part of the work, the white parts will grow in both ends of the work, and that will also mean that we can finish a row a bit faster than in the middle of the work. Because there were some rows that took so much time, there were so many color changes, and it was all the way through 260 stitches is the width of this work. And it's actually 300 rows, but I left out some rows from the beginning and from the end because they were just white. And I have a plan for the framing of this, so I don't need any white parts at the end and beginning of the work. I don't want them. And sometimes because you crochet very tight, you have extra tight stitches which you have to fish with your hook. I try to avoid this, but it happens sometimes no matter what I do. That also slows me down sometimes, but the looks before comfort with this one. So every technique is chosen so that it will look the best. Sometimes it would be easier to choose techniques that are easy to work with, but that's not what I do, unfortunately. I don't let myself go too easy on myself. It's time for the brown flower. The colorful yarns are much easier to work with than the thin black one. And my next project is made with the same thickness of black yarn. Even though I know I swore that I will not use black in my next one, I also used black in that one. So I don't really know what I would be using if not black. 2 and 3. Just one. Just do that again. Our work also has 3 different yellows. Don't know if it makes any sense, probably not. Don't know if anyone can tell the difference, but it felt wrong to use the same one for all the parts. Now I will move the black one closer to the place where we're actually working, so it is easier to control it. Three black ones. The center of the brown flower is also brown. Might sound stupid, but it actually works. I also have a method of, and I have the yarns in front of me, so the one that is on the right hand side will always go on top of the ones that are on the left. So this will go top of these ones and this will go top of this one. So when I change the colors, the yarns won't get mixed. And trust me, it makes this a lot easier. need 7 black ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I will release some. This is why I don't like the bobbin so much, because you have to release the yarn separately. So if you have a full skein with center pull, it will just release itself when you need it. Don't count much, and that's because I just look for the placement of the colors based on the previous round. So if this stitch was green the previous round and it is green now, so I don't have to count it, because there would be a lot to count with 260 stitches. If I don't have anything to compare to, I will, and sometimes I do some counting just to make sure I haven't made any mistakes. Sometimes I make mistakes, but it is very easy with this graphic thingy to see that if you are trying to put the wrong color in the wrong place, you will notice. The actual thing that gives me most headaches is the big patches of black, where you have to make sure you don't lose any stitches. I have been losing stitches in the black parts of the work which I then have counted and added back. I haven't frogged any rounds because this is so big that and the design is my own. So for you to see the mistake, you would actually have to know what to look for, and people don't. So I really don't have to stress about that too much. Just to make sure that the size of the work doesn't change. That's like the most important part. Because that, of course, is visible if the lines are going crooked. Now I need to move the chart. These black ones. Next round I think I will have to attach some more white yarn so I don't have to cut it all the time, but not this round yet because I have a lot of black coming up, so the space between the white ones will grow, and then it doesn't make any sense to make it travel through the work. It will make more sense to let it stay in place and go upwards. Almost 2 rows done. I really need to remember to celebrate the small victories with this one. This is also the hardest part because it's like we don't have much left, but yet we still have a lot left. So you kind of feel like you're reaching the end, even though you're not reaching the end yet. Blue for this one, so I'm gonna take a smaller one. There's just a few stitches of blue going upwards, so we leave the big skein for something bigger. The only negative side for using such a small hook for this is that it is easily going through the yarn, splitting it. You get used to it after a while. Every time I come back to the project it starts again, so I have to adjust my arm, my hand, to work with this type of yarn and this hook. I need another white one. There we go. And now we'll finish this row with weight. Then we're gonna take a little big tiny break. And run through toilet, and then we'll be back with a couple more rows of this Christmas present project that, even though I started very early as in September, I think it was September, maybe even earlier, I am late now. Because it is killing me to do this, as it is the simplest of the simple project that just takes a lot of time. And the end result will be wonderful, just have to get there first. So I can give this on time. So I have like a little less than 100 rows left. And I have a week and a couple of days. So it would need to be done like 20 rows or so per day, because I have other things I'm doing as well. So that would left me with a couple of days extra. But that's a lot. So cleaning up the back side, I'm just tidying it up, cutting the yarns and moving them back to the start that will flow through the work. And the ones that will stay, I will just tighten up. I will need yet another weight for the next round because these weights will be separated. And there's so much black in between that it doesn't make any sense to move it around. These will stay there. There's really no colors that will be removed for the next round. There's actually more to add. Round one we will cut because we will reattach it to the other end of the flower. And I am not securing the ends in any other way. I used to, at the start of the project, I made some knots to keep them in place, but then I forgot to do it and realized that they will stay in place without them just fine. So I don't like to do work that is not necessary, so we will. And there we go. And there we go. And I'll be right back. And back we are. We are back. And we will need to take the next row. 192. Which seems to be quite simple one. And we actually have to remove the blue one. Which we did. And then this will be the last one of the green at the beginning. How is everyone doing? Christmas is getting close. I haven't done the Christmas shopping yet. Which is normal for me. So I'm not stressing about it. This is the only gift I'm stressing about. Because, well, I should have used more time to do this one. I tend to forget how labor intensive this is time-wise. Not skill-wise, but time-wise. And maybe some coffee. It's not a surprise gift, so she knows it's coming, and it's not the end of the world if it's not ready, but I would like it to be ready. If it's not, I will finalize it. I'm not working 25th, and I'm not working 26th, so those are the days I will finalize it if I have to. I'm also working in Christmas intensive industry at the moment, so I have a lot of work before Christmas, which also gives me less time to do this. I have a day off today and tomorrow. We will be doing this as much as possible. As much as I can take it, to be honest. It's also kids will finish school, they will have a break. Next week is the last week before Christmas break. I think my husband is starting his holiday next week as well. Soon have to take a new black skein. There's not much left. Some brown and then black and then The middle of the flower is also brown, so we won't cut the yarn, we just float it through the whole flower and then cut it at the end so we can reattach it at the beginning. We need 6 brown ones. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's release some weight. Hope this blue will be enough for the rest of the... Might not be, but it's not a problem. We will just attach a new one. Just don't like to do it in the middle of the color block. But that's just me. The chart? And release some green. And 13 green ones. On the original design, the leaves do not look like this, but when I was doing the initial testing, I really liked the way it looked with the blue and the green. So I decided to stick with it. This is, after all, made from my viewpoint, so it's not supposed to be an exact replica of the logo. It's supposed to be my version of it. And now there's going to be a white part that will need its own skein of yarn. I wonder if I have. More. I really like these skeins because they have the start here for center pull ready for you, so you don't have to hunt it down. It's my favorite part of it, because I really like to use the center pull for these projects, because it makes it much easier to control the amount of yarn and skeins you have. Another white one. We have a lot of white. Going on this part of the work. So we have now 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 full skeins of yarn attached, and then 4 to 5 small ones. So it is quite a lot, so you really have to pay attention that you don't mix them up unnecessarily, because that will create more work for you. This is also one of the reasons why this particular project is not a so-called sofa project. You need a table to keep track of your yarn. Lillian? I'm patient. You see, we finished the text part, so the Fleetwood is now written all over the work. And we've done, this is row 192, so I'm patient, very patient. We're doing progress, but even though I started this very early, now I'm in a rush to finish it for Christmas. Which is, I think, kind of normal. For me, at least. How is your December going? I will release some yarn so it will be ready for the next round. Don't have to do it while I crochet. This is how I like to get ready for every round. I think we finished the leaves at the beginning of the work. Yes, we did. So these are now ready. So I'm gonna detach the green one as well. We'll go to the left side with the blue one, waiting for the next batch they're needed in. I think that's it. The flowers and the leaves are getting done, so the logo itself is now done. So it's only the flowers that are waiting to be finished, and then the whole work is finished. I know I usually make the mistake that I think that I'm almost at the end of the work. Well, I still have quite a lot left. It's not 1/3 anymore, but not far from that. It's not done. Because when you get the part ready, it's like doing a granny square cardigan and thinking that you're done after you finish the granny squares, even though you're still quite far from the finished product. I still have to come up with a plan how I'm gonna frame this or how I'm gonna display it. I'm not sure if it's probably not gonna be framed, but I have the fringes all over it, so I don't know if I'm gonna utilize those or come up with a different plan. The edges are very straight, so I don't have to hide them. I've been very consistent with the tension and the sizing, so it's presentable, but it needs some reinforcement to display it on the wall. More caffeine. $193. That marks the 4th row we're doing. I think the black one will last one more row. Then I will have to replace it with another skein. What do you want?
caffeine?
Oh, I just opened an energy. I still have some coffee left as well. But there's never too much. Now the brown flower. It's a very simple one. It's only black, brown, and some mustard yellow. Brown flower, maybe not the most conventional, but it went with good and well with this design. And this is not a realistic portrait of anything, so we can do whatever we want. last green one for this part. So we are finishing yet another leaf. We have blue yarn available. Yes, we do. Yeah. Yeah, Tina, you are absolutely correct. It's a lot of work. Not so much skills, but a lot of patience, a lot of stitches, and a lot of time. Which I don't have because the Christmas is coming. As per usual, I'm late. There's like 80,000 stitches in this one. A lot of color changes. It's 300 rows and 260 stitches wide. So yeah, 7. Yeah, that's the colors. I think I have like 20 colors, so it's not that bad, but there's like a lot of variation between. So there are a lot of different faces for this. So, yep. Diamond art painting, that's my brain likes that. It's gonna be gorgeous. I just finding the motivation to start a row, you know, take a couple of hours and, you know, do it. It's hard. Yeah, for first 100 rows I was excited, and the next 100 rows I was just doing it, and this last 100 rows I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore, but I'm gonna finish it. It's a bit boring because it's only single crochet, so there's no like changes in the technique of doing it. It's just the colors that change. It's a Fleetwood Mac album cover for my daughter for Christmas. But I've been doing these lives so that I would make myself accountable and show up, and it's working. So but I hope that when the new year hits, we can have lives with different projects, because this has been it for quite some time. Yeah, she decided this, want this, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Of course, I could have been a little less ambitious and make it a bit smaller, but yet again, when I start a project, I kind of want it to be worth the while. So I tend to choose quite ambitious projects for myself. And this is one of those. But I learned from this that these type of projects, I need to come up with something different stitches. This is 2.5, so a very small one. And the reason for that is that I want it to be very tight. So I'm also using very tight tension to do it, just so that it will keep its shape when it's hanging on the wall. So I'm using cotton, which has no flexibility whatsoever. So I try to make it stay like as it should be. I don't know how I'm gonna hang it yet, because it's quite large. I wonder if I have. I think I have. The size will be like 80 centimeters or 31 inches. So it's and it's gonna be the same the other way around as well. So it's like a very big poster size initially. And I calculated that the total hours I spent doing it is approximately 80 hours. So 2 full-time working weeks, which of course I cannot do straight away because I do have a job, which is 40 hours. So on top of that, I have been taking breaks doing this. I started back in December because I knew it would take a lot of time. Then I lost interest for a while. I did a couple of other projects, came back to it, then lost interest again. Did a couple of other projects, and now we're back again. So And now the Christmas is very close, so that gives me motivation as well. I have to finish it for Christmas. I don't have to, but I want to. I'm in Ireland, so quite far. What is the weather in Ottawa at the moment? You probably have a proper winter there. I'm originally from Finland, so I'm familiar with snow, but we've been here in Ireland for a couple of years now. I think we saw snow once this year, and I don't think we saw at all snow last year. I do have to say that I don't. Yeah, I don't. Kinda, snow is beautiful, but I don't miss scraping the car or removing the snow from driveway, or thinking if my roof is gonna take the load, or do I have to go up there and remove the snow from the roof of my house. I don't mind the cold so much, but that's just a matter of what you wear. But the other things that come with snow are something I'm not a fan of, to be honest, at all. Like, it took an extra 30 minutes every morning, if it snowed, to get going. Yeah. You do the snowman and you enjoy the snow, and then it becomes annoying. Yeah, I don't miss that about snow. No. It makes like, it's very dark here. Not at the moment, we actually have a very nice day today here, but it's very dark and wet most of the winter here in Ireland. And the snow in Finland, even though it was dark, it wasn't that dark because you had the white coverage. But I do have to say that I'm from western southern Finland, and it wasn't within the last few years. It's not said that the snow will be there, so it was always like thinking about if you're gonna have a white Christmas or not. So it was like 50-50, thanks to the global warming, of course. So we had many black Christmases in Finland, together with the white ones. Which is a bit sad. green yarn released. Yeah, I made my own. I used the stitch fiddle. It's not the best one. It messed up the colors very bad, so I had to change them all. But at least it gives you like the pixel art frame to work with. But it makes it easy to follow where you are in the project, so that's why I use it. But yeah, there wasn't a ready one to be found. And I changed the colors quite a lot. I ordered a lot of like different colors for the yarn to see which goes with what, because I wanted them to be correct. And I also wanted to have my own like thingies with the work. So I've been changing some colors compared to the original design. Because like I said to my daughter, I'm the artist here and you get what you get. Of course the logo itself is what it's supposed to be, but I've changed the flowers to go with this technique a bit better. Because even though I have a lot of stitches, it's very hard to do any shadows or stuff like that while you're crocheting, so I simplified it quite a bit. Also tried to have the borders with the black and the white to be a bit more visible, to have more than one stitch. It was the goal. But making the pixel art itself, it's quite easy. So I would say if a person finds a picture they want to make, just to throw it in the program and then just to touch it up a little bit and you're ready to go. And the technique you choose for your project, it's up to you. I hate working the back side, so I chose to work the front of the work only, so I go from right to left every row, so I don't go the back of the work at all. This is maybe not the easiest or most understandable way of doing it, but it fit this work because the back side is really a mess. Because there's so many color changes that, you know, I didn't even try to make this nice because it's gonna go on the wall. It's like, I would say that doing a wall hanging decoration first is a good choice because you don't have to worry about the backside. So it doesn't really matter how it looks like. So I have one project I'm doing where I am doing back and front just to learn a bit more, basically. And it requires much more attention to detail, and I think it requires also a little bit more skills than this technique I'm using with this one. It's gonna be nice as well, but you know, when working on the back side, you still have to think about how it's gonna look on the other side. Where the yarn has to go. Which side are you actually working on? So there's a difference. I like to simplify things. Yeah, I have practiced now 193 rows of experience at this point. Oh, I've done it for years, so it's like, it's fine. But this is my first tapestry project ever. I've never done this one before. And that's about it. We've done the rows, and now it is time for me to organize a spa day for my daughter, which I promised yesterday if she cleaned her room, and she did. So we're gonna have a spa day today. We're gonna continue this one tomorrow. Not sure if I'm gonna go live. It depends on the timing of the day, but I am not working tomorrow, so I have time, maybe somewhere in the afternoon of Irish time. We'll show up and do some more rows, and hopefully we can finish this before Christmas, and if not, then we will finish it after, but I do want to finish it before, so it's ready to hang up. I want to wrap it up so she can open it up, even though she's seen it, so it's not a surprise in that way, but maybe the finished product will still be a happy surprise. Thank you everyone for being here, and if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't followed, please do. We'll be back so you get notified, and as always, have a great Sunday, have a great day, and enjoy your weekend. Bye!